What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premier League Unpacked. As you can see, we've got the guys in the cut, Guna Lee, Roms, Patrick, and now DSG as well. Hope everybody's blessed. Make sure you're smashing a like on the video. All the Mandem's links are below in the description, the YouTube channels. Please go and subscribe. It's totally free of charge, and we can't do it without your support, people. So make sure you go and do that. But boys, what he's telling me, man, are you all good?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. I know there's other people on the panel that aren't as much, but I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed.
It's a bit of a mad thing, people. It's absolutely mad. But look, we're going to dive straight into it. There's a lot to discuss. The first thing and the topic everyone's probably waiting for is Arsenal. You get me, people? Myself, Guna Lee, we've put our chests out this season, back the boys to the hill. And so we should, as proper fans, that's what you should be doing. But it looks like our title hopes are dented a little bit. You get me? I've had a little day to dwell, and it still doesn't feel good, people. I'm telling you now for a fact, yeah. But look, we'll dive into that game straight away, yeah. Big up everybody in the chat already as well that have commented and already liked. Guna, I'm having to come to you first. Draw at Anfield, yeah. I'm saying, you know what? I'm being positive. It's a point gained because even though we were 2-0 up there, yeah, things can happen at Anfield. They're no joke of a team at home. But West Ham, bro. West fucking Ham. 10 minutes in, 2 goals up, cruise control, and we end up throwing it away, bro. Talk to me, man. How you feeling? I can see you looking depressed, G. Talk to me.
Bro, man. Bro, it's listen, if I say what I really want to say, they'll ban me off YouTube for 6 months, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Like this team, like I'll be honest with you. I know everyone's gonna say all they want to say, but yeah, man, like for me, the league's gone, bro. League's gone. League's finished. I don't want to pretend. I don't want to act like it's gonna come because it ain't coming. It's not me being defeated. It's me being real, bro. You got DSG here. My man's about to kill himself driving just to see my pain, bro. To the Mandem as well. So listen, man, like it's crazy, bro. Like I ain't gonna lie, bro. It's crazy, and like I'll be honest with you, that draw last week.
You know what I mean? I've had enough of all these fucking sharks, yeah. Big Steve, I'm gonna have a word with him when I see him. You get me? He's starting some mad trend now. Get me? Do you know how many messages, I'm getting of these fucking sharks?
Bro, I got it yesterday as well, bro. I got it all yesterday. So I'll be real, man. Like the team, they bottled it. They've absolutely bottled that whole situation. You know, yesterday, we were 2-0 up, cruising, and we've let them back in. It actually looks even worse now for the whole situation with Liverpool because, in truth, we've bottled it there as well. Like, I feel like we've just bottled the whole thing. We were in such a good position. It's almost like, man, them that go bin. They go bin, they do their stretch, and they're right at the end. And they just, they're about to be released for good behavior, and then they have a fight, bro. And that's what Arsenal feels like they've done, bro. They've literally just let themselves go, man. And ultimately, this team, the manager has to hold some stick as well, bro. What he's done, I'll be honest with you, bro. It's criminal what he did yesterday. It's criminal what he did, against Liverpool. But yesterday was absolutely diabolical. The substitutes he made, and he's been amazing for us. He's absolutely been amazing. This whole team's been amazing. But I have to put the blame to the certain people. And look, I gave the same stick to Harry Kane. I said he bottled that moment in the penalty because he missed the target and he sent that shot to Dubai because he wanted to go on holiday quickly. Listen, Saka, I don't know what you were doing. You missed the target, bro. You've bottled that big opportunity. It is a bottle. It is a bottle. There's no.
He's been watching too much Salah. He's been watching Salah too much.
I don't even know why he's watching Salah because he's crap as well, bro. So like
I'll be
real with you, man. Like the title's gone, bro. There is absolutely no way we are not losing all of these games. Like we are going to lose drop game because we're not consistently playing well enough throughout the whole 90 minutes to see out every single game. I thought we would have had the luck last week when Salah missed the penalty. I thought, listen, it's destined. I literally last week we were 2-0 up and I thought, oh my God, we've actually got our hand on the title. Right now, Man City got the hand. They got one hand in the title. To be honest, they've got one hand and 2 fingers on it, bro. That's how close they are to it because they're just imperious, man. And as I said, the league, I don't want to hear any man try to tell me any rubbish, because we came out of the Carabao Cup in January. We came out of the FA Cup to the same team, Man City. We've come out of the Europa League, unfortunately. And everybody said it's a blessing in disguise. So now this whole blessing should be working, but it's not working. Yesterday, we looked lethargic. We looked tired. West Ham played midweek, and we looked like we were out of breath. We looked like we were, running, we were having circles run around us. Honestly, bro, that, as I said, that was shameful yesterday. Like, not only the result, but the performance was horrible as well. So, yeah, man, that's me, bro.
You know what, Guna? Yeah, I'm with you pretty much in everything that you've said. Look, mathematically, we can still win it, but realistically, are we going to win it with having Man City behind us in the way that they're playing? Since the FFP rules and all of that shit come out regarding that, they've just looked like a total different animal. You get me? Realistically, it looks like it's gone in it. But you touched on Arteta there. Now, Arteta made a few substitutions within that game, bro, and I don't think it sat well with a lot of people. Do you want to elaborate on it a little bit in regards to the subs that he brought on, taking Jesus off, not taking Partey off early, not taking Saka off? Because these, for me, were big mistakes in that game.
The joke of it, I'll be honest with you, I prefer a Partey, even if he's playing relatively poor, over Jorginho. I don't understand what Jorginho was coming on to do. In that kind of game, we needed to really have monsters. We needed to control the ball. It was 2-2 at the point, and he took him off. I don't understand that. I would have rather kept Partey on. I don't understand why you took off Jesus. I don't understand why, for me, and I said it, I know it's in hindsight, no one's going to think, oh, I actually did say it, but I was like, hold on, why is Jesus taking it? Saka's not been playing well. He hasn't been playing for well. Jesus, he scored, what, 2 and 2? He scored last game as well. He's confident. Give him the goal. Let him get to 10, 11, 12 goals, man. He's the striker. And I know Saka's been the main guy, but bro, for me, honestly, bro, I genuinely don't understand his decisions. Nketiah, we need a goal. You bring him on in the last 2 minutes. How does that make any sense? We need a goal. We need someone in the box, but you take off Jesus, you bring on Trossard to do what exactly in that kind of game? It made no sense. We needed to stretch the pitch, get in behind, run down the channels, do things that someone like, dare I say, Richarlison would do, like stretch the pitch, get into positions and places where other players don't want to go and create opportunities like that. But there was no one in the box. And ultimately, as I said, we fumbled the bag. The bag has fully, and it's annoying. We've gone to Spurs. We slapped them home and away. Man United, we're going to have to next season go through all of this again. This was a real big opportunity. And as I said, that the manager, he's been fantastic. I ain't going to, jump on his back. But the league's gone because of him. It has actually gone because of him. And, the thing that we speak about as the manager and the players being young, vibrant, energetic, they're also naive. They're very naive, and that's what's happened. And that's how the cookie's going to crumble, unfortunately, man. So yeah.
You know what? Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think obviously my opinion is a little bit different in regards to the Jorginho situation, because for me, Thomas Partey, was playing absolutely shit. And as fans, we need to get out of that mindset of, if a player has been playing brilliantly for as long as they've been with us, if they're having a shit game, be proactive and take them off, because up until Jorginho come on, we couldn't really get a foothold in that game. 67 minutes onwards, we managed to actually at least retain some of the ball, try to make a few attacks. With Partey in the team at that specific time, it wasn't happening. We were just getting overrun. Again, with the Jesus situation, again, Saka, we know he's our boy, homegrown talent. Everyone loves him. We know his ability he's got. But like you said, he looks knackered. He looks shattered. You get me? Take him off, leave Jesus on, bring on a Trossard, but make them substitutions early. The one thing I like about Eric Ten Hag, and I said it in my post-match reaction as well, this guy's not asked to make changes early at half-time to affect and influence the game. You get me? And that's something that is going to be a learning curve for Arteta going forward. He needs to look at this kind of situations now and realize, look, I might need to do this. I might need to do that. But Patrick, look, I'm going to come to you, How realistic is it for Arsenal to go on and win the title? Should all Arsenal fans lose hope and belief now? Because obviously we're down in the gutter after that West Ham game. Liverpool game, a little bit different because of the team and where we was at. But that West Ham game, we've got a sick record against them over period of history. We normally beating them by 3 goals, 3-1. It is a big turning point in the season now.
Listen, as a football fan, I'm not even going to try and banter you lot. I'm just going to talk from a football standpoint. I think you guys should believe till it's not mathematically possible. You've come so far and grown so much this season as a team. So to then, yeah, of course I get it. Man City are Man City, and realistically, I mean, I said it from the beginning that Man City will win the league, even before all of this. Just because of the caliber of players that they've got, the manager they've got, the fact they've done it and done it again. But we all know football's crazy and anything can happen at any moment. Plus, Man City are in the Champions League, which they will definitely go full tilt to win. They're also on course for a treble, so they're going to take the FA Cup seriously. So you're still in it. You still got to play them as well. If you go there and beat them, which is possible in the 90 minutes worth of football, it's not like you lot are not a good team. You're possibly the best team in the league in terms of the whole season, in terms of the style of play and the goals and what you've done. We know Man City are Man City, but you've probably been the best team so far. So it's not impossible, but do I think it's likely? Probably not. But like they say in boxing, when you got a puncher's chance, you still got a chance, man. You're still in it. And the fact is, you've got to go to them. And Gary Neville said it. I mean, Gary Neville's been hit and miss with his punditry and analysis recently. But what he did say earlier, I don't know if you guys saw it, he said, listen, if I was Arsenal and I was told at the beginning of the season I had a chance to go to the Etihad, one game to win the league, would you take it? And he's like, of course we would take it. So believe, man, believe. You're this far in it. To give up right now would be mental. I know it's dejecting. You've been, on the back of two back-to-back, 2 goal. You blew the lead.
But the problem is though, Patrick. The problem is it's not one chance, because we then have Brighton at home. We then have Chelsea at home. We also have Newcastle away.
Yeah, I know.
We have Nottingham Forest away.
These are tough games.
And listen, I'm sorry to say, but every you talk about the puncher's chance.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like Man City are the heavyweight, because if you know about boxing, puncher's chance is all to do with the heavyweight division, because it's literally 2 big men slugging it out. If you're in a featherweight, lighter-weight, you can get punched and still get back up, because the punch in theory isn't that heavy. It's not that hard. We ain't heavyweight team. We aren't. We're levels below that. We're fighting against a juggernaut, and we're overdoing it. And this is what is getting on my nerves. These dumb bitch ass motherfuckers now, acting like we ain't bottling it, bro. We are bottling it, bro. It's the biggest, but it's not the biggest, but it's a big bottle job. You can't say we're 2-0 up. No issues, no problem. We should have smoked Liverpool. West Ham, we bottled that position. I'm sorry, I don't want to hear no crap, because everybody was saying, oh, now we're out of the Europa League. Listen, shout out to my brother Robbie. He is my absolute guy. We're now so lucky that we're now fortunate that we're out of the Europa League now. I see only blessings in disguise, right? We're blessings in disguise, right? What fucking blessings, bro? We look worse. We actually look worse. Because what? Because we played Crystal Palace and Leeds. You think I'm going to start wanking over that, bro? I said Rob Holding ain't good enough. I've said it, and I've said it. I don't know how many more times I need to keep saying it. This guy wasn't bad, but he's not good enough. He's not. Jorginho, listen, again, you did fantastically well against Aston Villa, but you've dropped like 3 stinkers since I've seen you come. Your debut was poor against Everton. All the other performances, you've been poor. You haven't been good enough. I don't know what more I need to see from these guys. I told you the saying, Maya Angelou, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Rob Holding is shit, bro. I don't understand many more times people need to. I can't speak any other language. I did German in school, but he's shizer then. Fuck it. He's crap.
Yeah, but Lee as well, just to interject again, I don't know why I'm supporting or backing Arsenal. He's a backup defender.
It don't matter, bro.
If he's not expected to play a lot of minutes in a league campaign. He's for the early rounds of the FA Cup, early Europa League knockouts, group stages, right. And then he comes in, if the game's won and you want to rest a Saliba or Gabriel, or if someone's injured. Unfortunately for you, he's come in at the business end of the season.
There you go.
On the back of a big injury to probably your best defender.
You're right, though. But the problem is that Arsenal fans are like, oh, the system. This is what people. I'm sick of it. The system is fantastic. We can plug in players in our system, and it's fantastic. Listen, I used to teach. I don't know if you know Josh Da Silva, that he played for Brentford.
I know Josh Da Silva. I didn't know he used to teach him though.
So again,
right, you don't look that old, you know. You're talking about you can't tell me you're Nicky under that hat.
Nah, it was first year teaching, bro. Listen, in my first year of teaching, he was my first year of student. So yeah,
Oh, that's
listen, when I
mad.
was in
That's nuts.
yeah. When he was in year 11, I started teaching. So yeah, and I saw him say in an interview at Brentford. They have plug and play players. They're midfielders. You can literally just chop and change, and it makes no difference because they all have unique circumstances and sets. We don't have that. We need the same three players to be playing fantastically well. Otherwise, the system doesn't work. You saw with Tierney yesterday. Didn't even play poorly, but it just is so different. He's not a bad player, and that's the problem we've got now. So I don't want people now coming out and saying, "Oh, well, like we haven't bottled it." Because this is the same people that were like, it doesn't matter if Saliba's out. Don't get carried away. Don't get upset about it because we've got this messiah of Arteta that can do, and he's been fantastic. But he also needs to hold L's when it's given, because I've given him praise all season. I also can say he's not done well over the last 2 weeks, in my opinion. So when these same Arsenal defenders are talking about, oh, Rob Holding, he's coming in and he can do a job. Oh, did you see what he did against Crystal Palace? Did you see what he did against Leeds? Apparently, I said, listen, this guy reminds me of a year 9 student doing his GCSEs too early. You're putting him in a position that he's not capable of doing. You haven't done the year 10 and year 11 work to show that you can do the exam early. You're not good enough. You're not smart enough. You're not good enough, and that's just the facts. And I'm not blaming him for yesterday. I'm talking in general. So yeah, you can talk about this, but on the same side, these Arsenal fans are talking at both sides of the mouth. Yes, Rob Holding's not good enough. I know this, but they're saying, oh, well, it doesn't matter about Saliba not being out, or it's not that big of an issue. Of course it is. Of course it is, because he changes so much.
Let me come in as well, yeah, because I totally understand your frustration, and I totally understand where you're coming from, because we've all said Rob Holding, we can improve on Rob Holding. I think every fan believes that. But at the same time, I don't agree with not putting that kind of belief and support into him when a situation arises and you haven't really got another option. Because the moment you start kicking a man before he's even down, you kind of fucked it to a certain extent. And yeah, opinions, that's everyone's opinion, and everyone has their own opinion. But like with my standpoint on Rob Holding, he was absolutely diabolical yesterday. So was the whole team. It wasn't, like you said, it wasn't just down to Rob Holding. But up until yesterday, he's come in to a team where he's rarely got minutes this season. Here and there, Europa League, you get me, not really got a full fucking run under his belt. And he's trying to plug a hole. And that's something that we have to do, innit? Kiviar's going to come in. He hasn't even seen the Premier League for 6 months yet. Do you know what I mean? What other option have we got? And in the position that we have been, and we are still, me, not you, not fucking any Tottenham fan, Liverpool fan, United fan sitting here right now, expected us to be in that position. So you got to give the boys some belief, and you got to try to push them on and not build a negative energy around them where they can see things, hear things, and it can dampen certain situations. You get me? So I don't really blame Arsenal fans for giving Holding that kind of belief going into it. I understand that he's not good enough. I think every Arsenal fan probably knows that. But to just pinpoint maybe that defeat, I keep saying defeat because it's not even a defeat, it's a draw, but it feels like a defeat. That situation with West Ham down to Rob Holding, I think it's a bit unfair. I think Thomas Partey, total stinker. I think Gabriel, he was good at times, but he wasn't the same Gabriel we've seen. Granit Xhaka in front of him, nowhere to be seen. Don't know where he was. You get me? I think the whole team had a stinker, but we have to look at where we are. And for example, we're hurt. We're going to be saying this stuff now. But like Patrick said, realistically, I'm saying it from my point of view. I think it's very tough now. But mathematically, we can still go on and win the league. And if we do go on and win the league, yeah, I guarantee you the conversation is going to be different then than what it is now. And Arteta 100% has to get criticised. We praise him when he does well. You have to criticise a man when he hasn't done well. And that's totally acceptable. You get me? Obviously, I'll be honest, when it comes to how I'm feeling right now, I'm just trying to hold my emotions, because if you see my match reaction, bro, I was not happy. You get me? Absolutely not happy about that whole situation. And I'm just thinking now, what can we do? We don't want to just let everything good that's happened to us now deteriorate and want the fan base to start going on like it was a year ago. Because, bro, like I said, when I jumped on this scene, bro, You get me? Before even Goonal, jumped on this scene. When I've jumped on this scene, I was the first geezer, well, one of the first geezers to call for Arteta's head because I want the best for my football club. And this season so far, he's changed my mind. Now, we can't just go back on all the good work he's done. Unfortunately, yeah, in January, he could have made certain signings, but it takes more than just a January window to plug certain holes. He's brought in a Trossard. He's brought in a Jorginho, even though all of us probably didn't want Jorginho at the start. When he has come in, he's not like he's a Thomas Partey. We know he's not no Thomas Partey, but he's come in. He's done a bit of a job. You get me? Kivior, he's just not ready for the Premier League. And that's where I say he's fucked up because you should be bringing a centre-back in for cover who is ready. You get me? But with the Rob Holding situation, I think is one of them, and you know what you're going to get with him. He can come in. Inside that FA Cup win where we won 2020, he played a pivotal role in that team. You get me? So he can step in and do a job. Against Liverpool at Anfield, I didn't think he was that bad. The games before that, I didn't think he was that bad. But it's very easy to jump on a man's neck when it hasn't gone for you. But the real person to blame is Arteta in that game because of his in-game management. And also, players like Martin Odegaard, who's the captain of our football club, need to be grabbing motherfuckers by the neck, yeah, and making shit happen, screaming at players, organising the team around. There was none of that. There was no leadership on the pitch as well, where all the players need to take accountability. But look, I hear what you're saying with the Rob Holding situation. Of course, we could do better than him, but it's just the situation that we're in right now. And you rather back your boys when they're in a position to potentially win the league than not back them and get on the neck right from the get-go. Obviously, we're going to move on from Rob Holding now. But Roms, Arsenal, look, it looks like you guys started the kind of, not demise, but the bit of the bad run of form for us. Looks like West Ham are kind of carried that on. Do you reckon this is a situation now where Arsenal, if they go 2-0 up, this can just play in the mind of the players now to think it's not over?
Do you know what it is? First of all, Patch hit the nail on the head when he said anything can happen in football. It's mathematically possible, but I feel like I'm probably best suited to speak about a title race because I've been in a title race with these 3 years out of the last 5. And you let them smell a bit of blood, that's it. Me personally, I think City now going to win the title. It's not impossible for us to win the title, but we've seen, I think, the year City first won the league with the Aguero and whatnot, it was on goal difference. United were like 8 points ahead with about 6 games to go. Like, football does mad things. It does very mad things. But this City team, right, and this is what I was saying I've got a lot of Arsenal friends around me. I was saying to them, when everyone's on their high horse, cool, you can be because you're top of the league. You like you said, you're supposed to back your team. But I said to them, the run-in and the start of the season or mid-season, it's a different type of pressure. I saw my team lead City to up at least till February. And then the minute we slipped up out of a few draws, they just go on to win it. Yeah, we kept up with consecutive wins, but this is a team that they smell blood and they go for it. And you know why it's even worse for Arsenal? They were winning it with false nines and Aguero being injured. They've got that big Norwegian guy now that makes it potentially even worse for you lot. Like I said, anything can happen, but I think now, for me as well, right, it's not even the fact that you've drawn 2 games. It's the fashion in which you drawn them. You went 2-0 up, consecutive back-to-back games, and the scoreline was the same in 2-2. And I think Goonani's right. This is where, for me, because you lot Arsenal fans, you're going to be emotional, you're going to give Arteta a stick. But for me, this is where experience comes into it. If we're being honest, he's still a novice. Like, yeah, he's got a trophy, but he's 3 years into management. For me, an experienced Pep and other managers, they probably know how to deal with situations better than Arsenal because when there was no real pressure, everything's rosy. You're winning games, you're slapping teams. For me, the start of when I started to see, you know what, this Arsenal team, they might be beginning to falter. It wasn't even the 2 draws. It's when you started not to keep clean sheets. Because if you go back to about, I'd say January, February times, you were waxing teams 3-0, 4-0, 2-0. And then even the Palace and Leeds game, because you won, no one really noticed this, but you just start conceding them goals. And it's little things like that start to creep in. And then it's kind of developed over the weeks. Now you're going 2-0 up. And it's not just the one consolation goal the opposition's getting. Now they're actually coming back and drawing games. And it's back to this City team. When you're in the title race with them, a draw is a loss, and it's reflected in how you and Gunnar Lee felt. This is how I've been feeling the last 4 or 5 years, mate. But yeah, I think now
you know what it is, Roms, as well. Like, I think the reason why we're feeling like this even more so is because obviously I'm speaking for myself, but I'm sure Gunnar's in the same position. We haven't really had much this season to feel bad about or be low like this throughout the season. Where when it's hit us now, you get me, the realization of getting so far, coming into the last 8 games, and you're starting to see the old Arsenal creeping in. Where Gunnar's right, that game yesterday was bottled. We bottled that because there's no way. Like I said, keep saying that's not Anfield and that's not Liverpool. West Ham got pumped in 5-1, 5-0 against Newcastle at their own ground. So it is a different situation, bro. But yeah, man, sorry, carry on. I just thought, do
you know what also is pissing me off as well, bro? I'm not gonna listen. I love Saka, bro, but listen, DSG, you'll be able to talk on this as well, bro. When Rashford last season, when he was, every week coming out with these dumbass posts on Instagram and Twitter, and Harry Kane does the same thing, bro. I'm seeing Saka now coming out with these fucking dumb bro. Stop talking and do your shit on the pitch, innit? That's all I want from you. We can't keep saying these men are young, and we can't keep protecting these guys. You either do one way and you get the flack for it, you get the stick for it, or you do the other way. And you're
Kardashian curse, bro.
Bro, it is proper. Like Odegaard last week, we're coming back. Like, stick stronger together. Gabriel Magalhaes, stick stronger together, bro. Then you drop that performance, bro. You literally Saka, is actually winding me up, bro. Like
Kardashian curse, bro.
Gunnar and Premzy, So just before you go on, I've actually got a question for you two, because I've noticed this, and I'm not trying to go off narratives. Other than Spurs away, do you lot kind of question Odegaard's performances away at the big clubs? Because for me, Anfield, the first 20, 25 minutes, as your whole team you were amazing. But Anfield, he kind of petered out the game. Old Trafford, he petered out the game. Stamford Bridge, he done his thing, and that the rest of your team. But FA Cup against City, again, I don't know if he was much involved. Is that kind of a concern for you, or is it not that much of a worry? Because I've noticed away from home against the big clubs, bar Spurs, bar Spurs. Would you
wanted to say they're not a big club, innit? That's what you wanted to say.
Yeah, but you know what? I like Patrick. I like Patrick. I'm a Spurs fan.
You know what? I was gonna buy it, but I'm not.
I like Patty, but I'm a Spurs fan. It's because I'm used to streaming with shameless Spurs fans, like very shameless. But Patty, I can't.
What did you say, bro? This guy mapped up the Champions League final the week when he lost to Sheffield United. This guy's crazy, bro.
No, there's worse. I can't lie. There's worse than Patty. But
crazy, bro. Don't listen to him. Bro.
Right, he was shameless in the WhatsApp group. You get me? I didn't even want to look at them.
Maybe I've not seen this side, then, Patty. Maybe I've not seen this.
I'm always gonna get onto Arsenal fans, even like today. My Twitter's been mad because obviously I said, boom, the Arsenal fans. The thing is, there's two sides. The Arsenal fans that have like Premzy annoys me, innit? Like, he's my boy, but he annoys me, like top of the tree and this and that. But Premzy doesn't talk shit to me. He just talks about Arsenal, so I can never get onto him because he's just saying how he feels. What he's saying is true. Even Gunnar Lee doesn't come for me, but there's Arsenal fans that at me, they DM me, they WhatsApp me, they go in and in and in and in, and they've been quiet. So these guys, if they don't win the league, I'm coming for them. So obviously, when I'm talking about Arsenal fans, I'm not talking about the good guys. I'm talking about the ones that are fucking annoying. So I hear you, because I'm sure there's Spurs fans that do the same. Every fan base has them. But yeah, man, it's a bit.
No, I'm not gonna lie. That little picture that you posted in there with Saka water bottle, and beats, bro, that pissed me off. Still, I didn't even want to.
You know what? I know who Patrick's talking about as well. Because listen, sometimes I see, bro. Listen, shout out to Gunnar King, bro. Like, he's my guy, and I like him. But, bro,
he's one of them.
You don't stop, bro. I'm like,
exactly.
Bro, sometimes, you're
even like Patrick, even like a gal that sometimes. Bro, to just be going about their business and unprovoked one day, they're just getting at Spurs. Unprovoked, no reason. Yeah.
That's it. So those are the ones that will get. If Gunnar King, you're my guy, but honestly, if you lot don't win the league, you're finished. Because the way he acts me about 3 times a day, my man records videos for me. He acts me in all these posts. and it is so jarring. So
This is what I'm saying. That's why I prefer like fans like Premzy and Gooney, because when Arsenal doing well, they don't care about anyone else. But it's like Arsenal fans will still concern themselves with other clubs. Like, you're top of the league. Like, why do you care about what other clubs are doing? But back to the question: is that a cause for concern that Odegaard away at the big clubs, or is that just me looking into it a bit too much? Because he is your captain, like you said, Premzy. He is your captain now. He needs to kind of be pulling the boys by their neck and kind of putting more instructions out there.
You know what? It's a good question, because for me, definitely a concern. I think with Odegaard, we see in glimpses the brilliance that he has. But for me, it has to be on a bit more of a consistent basis, especially when you're our captain. Because when you're the captain, you need to grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Just like when Wayne Rooney was at Man United, he was the best example of it. When things weren't going well for United, this guy would grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and make shit happen. You get me? We're seeing our captain get taken off against West Ham. Our captain, you get me, bro? That should never be the case, especially when he's your creative outlet. You get me? And I'm not trying to slate Odegaard, because I think he's a top quality player. I just want to see more consistency from him. And I think you're right. Away from home against the big teams, they're the players that we need to be counting on. They're the players that need to stand up, be heard. You get me? So definitely, maybe, hopefully next season he can learn from this season, being a captain, and understand the game a little bit different from being in a captain's perspective. Because I think this is the first time he's probably a captain of a club level. He's the captain of his national team. So you do expect him to see that from him. You get me? But he seems very quiet. He's one of them players that I don't think he's captain material. You get me? That's just my God's honest truth.
When it's going good, I feel like you get two different types of captains. You can get a captain that leads by the way he plays, and then you can get a captain like my flipping captain who just barks all the time but has no technical ability. But you can get captains that actually lead by the way they're playing. Like, for example, wait, who's your captain? Patty, it's Kane's vice, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, because Harry Kane is essentially the on-pitch captain, because whenever the referee wants to talk about a player,
that's what I was thinking.
Run to Hugo Lloris, he talks to Harry Kane. And so Kane, I would say Harry Kane's not captain material per se either. But obviously, if you watch the way he plays, the fact he gives it all, there's technical ability, you could say he can lead by example in that sense. But even
that was my example, because Harry Kane's both. He leads by his quality and actually instructions. Do you know what I mean? Where I said majority of this season, Odegaard is led by his performances. If he plays well, 9 times out of 10, all the players around him play well. But when it doesn't go bad, that's when you have to start. You kind of have to cut. That's it. You have to come out of your comfort zone where he doesn't do the shouting and whatnot. Times like this in a run-in when your team needs you. Because I feel, let's say he didn't play well yesterday. If you even saw him just start barking orders or looking like he cares, it wouldn't satisfy you, but you'd be like, at least I'm seeing something. But when the performance ain't there and you're not seeing him even trying to lift everyone, it's kind of like, at not one point did I see any of your senior players kind of like try and rile up for example, when Spurs went 2-2 against Bournemouth, I saw Danjuma, who doesn't play at all, by the way, start trying to rile up the crowd. And it's little stuff like that means a world of good. Even when we played you at Anfield, you saw Trent doing it. You saw Nunes when he came on trying to lift up the crowd. Like, these things matter. And I know you're away from home, but in a situation like that, you need anything you can kind of get to kind of build that momentum.
You know what? I think at home we do see it. You get me? We do see. I think the connection between the players and the fans at home is good. You get me? But I agree with what you're saying. But Gunnar, do you want to answer that on Odegaard before we come to DSG?
I listen. I think it's a little bit harsh. I think he's been a little bit better in some of those away games. I thought he was really good against Man United away. Actually, I just thought we were very unlucky. The Spurs, Spurs away, we were absolutely fantastic. Listen, the Liverpool game, I thought he played and started well. Even yesterday, his compilation for the first half an hour would have been absolutely wonderful. Great. And then he just lost it. Like, I don't know. I don't know, but the Chelsea away, I thought that was a great all-round performance as well. So I think he's been a lot better than what people, are making out. But I think last season he was like, that was labelled at him. But this season he's been good. But listen, man, I'm just gonna, for me, as I said, I think that the title's gone, man. I think it really has gone, and we've missed out on a fantastic opportunity. We should have definitely beaten Liverpool. We should have beaten West Ham yesterday, and now
Do you really think we should have beat Liverpool though? Because I thought we were lucky to walk away with a draw.
No. What I'm saying, if you look at
they should have spanked us in that game.
But you think about it, right? Whatever happened, we had the last 5 minutes, and in my opinion, I think the subs should have come a little bit earlier. Tierney should have come on a bit earlier on. So I think ultimately you get what you're given, innit? And in that moment, we should have definitely been able to see the game out. So it was a poor piece of play by Zinchenko, but you think if you're an experienced manager, you make your subs a bit earlier, you change tack a bit earlier, you do something to really make a difference. And you remember, he brought on Kivior. Now, in truth, why did you bring Kivior on? That sub that didn't make no sense. So listen, and again, I'm sure DSG is gonna have his, he's gonna have his thoughts. But for me, I think yes, last week we should have definitely been able to come out with a victory somehow, some way. And then obviously we go into yesterday and it's it's just mad.
You know what, DSG, I'm sure you're gonna be a bit not upset, but a little bit disappointed Arsenal didn't get the win because look, Man City, they're on for a treble. They're on to win the Premier League 3 times in a row to equal your record. Talk to me, man. How did you see that game?
I've seen it like exactly the same as the Liverpool game. Like it's like, I don't know, either you come out with all your confidence in the first 20 minutes or you've all your energy. I don't know which one it is, because for 20 minutes you're playing like prime Barca. Honest to God, the football I was watching that first 10 minutes, I couldn't believe that second goal. I actually was paying attention to that. I could not believe what I was watching. Like, to see the team that finished like 5th last year or whatever, put that in the back of the net like that. And then like 20 minutes onwards, you lot just fold. I don't know what's going on. Like, is it a confidence thing? I don't think it's some kind of PTSD from Liverpool. Playing Liverpool compared to playing West Ham's 2 whole different levels of kind of opposition. So what's going on in their heads that at the point where it's hit like the half an hour mark, it was very similar in the same sense that, you remember what I was saying last week, like Xhaka turned the tide with the crowd and riled them up with that whole little thing. It seemed like a very similar thing. Like the penalty got everyone riled up in it. And obviously they scored it. And the same thing, but everyone was saying last week, like, nah, you can't just say that Xhaka's the whole reason because he turned the crowd. But I mean, this week, there was a goal included with this one because it was a penalty which led to a goal. But like, it's the same thing. Like, you lot played shit second half, bro. Like, proper shit. Like, I'm told.
You could have easily lost that game as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think you were more likely to lose the Liverpool game than this one, I'll be honest, because the quality of chances Liverpool had last week, they're shit for not putting you away, I'll be honest. I'd say you were more likely to lose the Liverpool game, but you were, attack-wise, you were poor, very poor in the West Ham game just then. And like, even Saka, I mean, Saka was just poor the whole game. I feel. I don't know if anyone agrees with that or not. But
I agree. I thought he was poor at Liverpool as well.
I thought he was poor at Liverpool as well. I think the Kardashian curse is sitting for real, bro. Since he's been on FaceTime with Kim. I've not seen him. I've not seen much of him at all.
Man, say Kim, before we're calling him by first name.
Yeah. Bro, he's on FaceTime with her, first name basis and shit. So.
Nah, I see that. He needs to leave the baddies alone, man. Learn from Dele Ali.
Bro, anyone that gets in contact with them lot, they get their careers get cursed, man.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you, didn't she go to PSG and they didn't lose in like a couple hundred games? Man got beat as well, you get me?
Yo, it's peak, man. It's the same thing. They've got that Drake curse as well. Whichever celebrity Drake curse.
But look, DSG, how would you feel though if City went and got a treble this season, man? Because obviously that's an achievement since '99 that you man have been screaming and shouting about every time we talk about achievements. That's up there, man.
I can understand why you lot are upset, but I genuinely think you are. I think Guna, I think you're looking at this in a very pessimistic way right now. I'll be honest. Like, the thing is, go back to game week 1 of this season. Did you ever think you'd be where you are now? At this point now?
I'll be honest with you. I predicted us to finish 3rd/2nd, if I'm honest.
Did you ever think you'd be top of the tree after 31 games?
No, I didn't. Obviously, no, I didn't think that. No.
Like, I genuinely...
I was expecting to bring banners out, me. That's what I was expecting.
The piss. I think you lot should be hella proud of how much they've done. Where they've come from last season to this season,
And you know what,
they've done bits, bro. They've done bits. And Go on.
I was just going to say, just to add on to what you're saying, that let's say Arsenal don't win the league. There's this narrative that if Arsenal don't win the league, they're not going to go again next year. They will, because the thing is, yeah, it'll be harder. I think you lot join the mix. But some fans are saying, there'll be 4 or 5 teams going for it. No, I think it'll still be Arsenal, United. It'll be Arsenal and City. United then will join the mix. I think Liverpool, Spurs still got a rebuild to do. Chelsea are just still going to be drowning in money and not knowing what's going on over there. So it's not going to be so much. It will be harder because there'll be an extra team in the mix. But people are all of a sudden saying Arsenal automatically going to fall off, but they'll still go again.
This has been what? How long's he been there? 2.5, 3 years. This has been 2.5, 3 years in the making. He got piece by piece built up.
The ice cream man's outside. Yes, go get some. Go get the kids some ice cream, fam.
That was bad loud. I was like, what's that?
So he's got him to this point now. I don't see him like dropping off in terms of next year or whatever. And the thing is, with the whole City thing now, you are literally up against a machine. You're up against a one-man machine, and I think it all boils down to the City game now. Now, everyone's already... I think you lot have already written that game off. I think you lot have assumed you're going to lose that game, which is where the pessimism...
You know what it is, though? We're looking at it a bit realistically, innit? And
I understand realism.
Record at Anfield. We don't have a great record at the Etihad. And the thing is, even though City don't have the Etihad crowd, they've got Erling Haaland up front. They've got a well-oiled machine. And they've got a team with experience that know how to get over the line in title charges, something that we haven't got. So I think as Arsenal fans, we're looking back and thinking, if we could get a draw out of that game, happy days. Now, it is different. We have to win. And how realistic is that? I'm not saying it's impossible. We've seen Brentford go there and win and go toe-to-toe with Man City. But this Man City team of late, I can't really see. We're going to have to go there and outscore them. We're not getting a 0-0 draw at the Etihad.
No, look. I get you have to be real. You have to be real. You have to look at it prospectively, but you need to look at anything can happen in football. We said that already. We all know that. And also we need to look at they are in the race for a treble, just like you said, and they've not secured any of the titles for that treble yet. They've got 2 more tournaments to worry about than you lot have. You know what I mean? Like now they're in a comfortable position in the Champions League, whatever. Come 2-3 weeks time, whoever they play, if they get through, if they beat Bayern on Wednesday and they get through, whoever they play in the semi-final, they might get slapped in the first leg. Suddenly they're on the ropes. Suddenly he's got a Wednesday game and a Saturday game, and he's got to make a decision: do I play my first team for the second leg and try and get through, or do I play my first team for this Premier League game and try and get the 3 points? And it changes as quick as that. Look, 1 game ago, everyone was writing us off out of the Champions League. 1 game. Just because Newcastle lost this weekend, Newcastle and Spurs lost, and we won, all of a sudden, now everyone's saying we've bagged it from 3 points. So I think the fine margin of 3 points is what's catching everyone off it. Literally 1 week ago, everyone wrote us off. So it could be, bro, City are gonna drop points. I tell you facts now, they ain't gonna win every single game. 8 games they've got left. They ain't gonna win 8 games.
We have seen them do it before, though.
So if they don't win 8 games and you don't lose 7, you've won the league. So, so
I hear that there is still belief there, DS.
That's the case there. They don't win 8, and you don't lose any of your 7. And I believe that can definitely happen. I think you can pull a draw at the Etihad, and that's all you actually need. If you pull a draw at the Etihad, and
I just still think we will drop points elsewhere as well. I don't think we're going to go.
You may do, but it doesn't mean City aren't going to either. Because they drop points in the silliest games. Remember that.
And you know what? You know why DS is chatting facts as well? Because remember, they're going to be prioritizing Champions League as well. All it takes is to make a few change, because you saw it even against Leicester.
They've signed ain't for the Premier League. They've signed that machine for the Champions League.
And you know what, DS? The reason why it's facts, because even a Leicester game, they won 3-1. I don't know if you don't watch the 90 minutes, but the minute they made changes, it looked Leicester.
They're preparing for the they got exactly. 3 goals. They're preparing for the Champions League.
All it takes is for them to take their eye off the ball, and then City drop points, and then it's back in Arsenal. Anything can happen.
Now, if it boils down to a situation where they're saying it's the Premier League or the Champions League, they are going to write off the Premier League. I'll tell you that now.
Their fans will tell you it's the
You know
Premier
what,
League.
yeah.
They deep down want the
Yeah.
champs.
But facts,
Before
if they come to a point where they're on the ropes and it's like you got to pick one or the
Pick
other.
one. It's the
They'll
one
pick
you've
the
never
one-
won, isn't it?
they'll pick
Do
the
you know
one
what
that-
though? Look,
they're
before we
desperate.
move on, because we're 45 minutes in, yeah, we hadn't even touched on all the other topics because
I
this
got
is just
shoot off
being
my
saucy,
throat.
you get me? But look, I want to say I hear what you're saying, DSG. Don't lose hope, still believe. But I think us being Arsenal fans and us knowing our team so well and understanding everything and what's kind of going on right now, I think realistically, you would say the favour is big in City's hands because City at home are a big force. We still got Newcastle away to go to, difficult place. Even Chelsea, as shit as they are, they still got to come to the Emirates and play. I still think that there is going to be points dropped from Arsenal. Like you said, there is probably going to be points dropped from City, but going off evidence over the last couple of seasons, normally they do tend to put a run on 8-9 games and just win consistently, not even draw. So I think that's where maybe myself and Guna Lee are probably looking at it in a way where we kind of think we fully fucked it. But I do hear what you're saying. I do get it. You get me? It's not over till the fat lady sings. And we can hope and pray that we can win the league because City got these competitions. They might have Real Madrid. Well, they will have Real Madrid if they get through Bayern, and that could interrupt a few bits and bobs. We just got to hope and pray. But look, let's move on to Spurs. Patrick,
Right,
I'm going to come to you.
out, yeah.
Yeah, safe, bro.
Big up, bro. Big up, my guy.
Patty, what happened? You get me, dog. Stellini. Was there any point in sacking Conte? Because you might as well, in my opinion, just kept him till the end of the season if you were going to leave his number 2. Everything looks the same, apart from giving Danjuma a few minutes. I think they were up, 3 times in that game? Up 1-0, got it back to 1-1, 2-1, got it back to 2-2, and then killed you off at the end, man. What's going on with Spurs, bro?
Yeah, the same old shit, man. Same old shit. And it's just, for me, our season's done now. Like, I can't see any way back after that. I mean, we had a favourable run in. We had Everton. Well, we had Southampton away. We were up by 2 goals. We ended up drawing 3-3 in the 93rd or 94th minute. Everton away, we was up by a goal up until the 88th minute. Then we conceded Michael Keane's screamer. And then yesterday, Bournemouth at home, favourable fixture. Anyone would take that all day long. Started well, and then once they scored, after we scored, we were still in control. When Lenglet got injured, that's when the tide turned. And after Davinson Sanchez came on, made a mistake for the first goal, got spun for the second. He was so bad that the sub got subbed. So it was like a Boué moments. So the sub got subbed. The fans were booing.
Oh, you be bringing our guys into your situation right now. Leave a Boué out of it.
It was bad. It was bad. And, we fought for our lives, tried to get back into the game. Should have went up in injury time. Richarlison had a free header on the back sticks. I don't know how he missed it. Unlucky again. Richarlison scored like 3 goals in the Premier League, and they've all been like offside by like millimeters. So again, that was chalked off. But going back to your question, Stellini's crap. At the end of the day, he's Conte 2.0. He's Conte without all the experience and without the badges. And I didn't understand why you would get rid of Conte but not get rid of Stellini. And it's just a cheap, weak, lazy option. Should have definitely got a proper interim manager in. We had 10 games to go. We could have probably salvaged something from this season. When you look at Stellini, he's out of ideas. He doesn't know what he's doing. The fact that he keeps still picking the same players and it's not working, freshen it up, change things up. We've got some good young players on the bench. Give them a run out. Sarr was brilliant away in the San Siro, AC Milan. Hasn't really played since then. So he's played 5 minutes since the Champions League away fixture, which makes no sense because he's a quality young player. And obviously injuries have hampered us as well. But when I just look at the team, there's no direction. I mean, from top to bottom, the club's got no direction, no identity, and doesn't know what they're doing. And that transcends onto the pitch. We've got a manager who's essentially a rookie manager. He's never managed a proper team before. You've thrown him in the deep end, and you can clearly see he's out of ideas. There's no tactics. There's no in-game management. There's no flexibility. He's just playing the same players. Højbjerg can be crap. He's still going to play. Eric Dyer can be crap. He's still going to play. Davinson Sanchez is awful, but for some reason, he's always our first substitution, no matter who we're playing against and what's going on. And it's just, it's crazy. The thing is, actually, when Sanchez got booed and taken off, he actually changed things up. We went to 4 at the back. We brought Danjuma in, and the game changed. Danjuma looked really good. And I'm like, we were all screaming for this guy for ages. He comes on and he makes a big difference. Like, why hasn't he played? But the guy's so scared to try something new. He's so scared to bring in something different. And yeah, for me, it's done, man. We needed 9 points out of those games, which on paper should have easily happened. And I know there can be, slip ups and whatever, but you can't be dropping 4 points from winning positions. Well, actually, it's 7 points from winning positions because we were up against Bournemouth. And then you look at our running, we've got Liverpool, we've got Newcastle, and then we've got another toughie after that. I can't remember.
United, aren't you?
Yeah, United. So I don't see us really getting anything out of those games, man. For me, I would love for us to finish 8th, just so we're out of Europe and it really drums a message home. But realistically, that's not going to happen, unfortunately. I'd love that to happen. But I still think, unfortunately, we will finish about 5th or 6th, which for me isn't good because that means we're in Europe next year. And unless there's wholesale changes made, it's the same much of a muchness, man. Like even now, there's no direction in terms of the manager. I can't tell you who they're at. I mean, there's names, but a lot of them are all different. So again, there's still no clear structure. We're talking about James Maddison. He's been earmarked. We're definitely going to get him in the summer. We're going to go full tilt. We don't have a manager in. So why are we earmarking players? There's no DOF yet. We don't know what's going on with Paratici. Is he in exile? Is he going to be banned? Is his ban going to be upheld? Is he going to be allowed to manage? And even to be fair, once Paratici got into the situation, he should have been let go. I don't understand why we're still waiting to see what's going to go on. So there's a lot of mess at the club. It's a shame, man, because top 4 was there for the taking, if I'm being honest. United is as good as they've been. I don't think they're that good, if I'm being real. They're not, they're probably finished 3rd now, but I wouldn't say, City and Arsenal look good. They're good teams. United are good in moments, but I wouldn't say they're an amazing team. Do you know what I mean? So 3rd and 4th was there. Newcastle as well, they're having a great season. But again, I don't look at them and I'm not in awe. I'm not blown away. Like, I've not really seen moments in games where I'm like, wow, this team's serious. Like the second goal, Arsenal against West Ham yesterday. I was like, damn, that's a good team goal. They're moving the ball around. They cut our man out. They send a cross in. Odegaard back stick, first time volley, beats the, Arsenal play good football. City played good football. United are decent in moments, but I'm not really in awe by them. They were there for the taking. Newcastle there for the taking, but we're just not good enough for long periods of time to sustain it. And it's a big shame, man. It's a big shame. So
I can't even imagine to feel your pain, bro. I'm telling you. But Travis Patrick, to cut you there. Obviously, I know you're going to have to fly in a second, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
But just before you do go, can you see, putting all the bias aside, putting all the hate and the banter aside, can this Tottenham team get top 4? I think Aston Villa are 3 points behind him. I think Newcastle and United have got a game in hand on him. Obviously, 1-2 weeks can change an outcome and the outlook of how things will happen. But can you see this team got the minerals to get over the line?
You know what? It's funny because I actually want Spurs to get top 4 because they're going to do the same thing they do every season, which is nothing. Like they don't spend money, they don't do anything. And listen, people could say the same thing about Arsenal. We were in it 20 years and we didn't win it. But I just feel with Tottenham, they're just wasting their own time right now. I can't see them getting top 4 because they're just. I mean, I said this from ages ago. Like they're just not a good team. Like, and it's coming to light now. A lot of their players that they overrated, they're not good, and I think they're starting to see it. Højbjerg, I'm gonna keep saying it. You will see it next season. Bentancur is gonna join that list. I've said it about Romero. I saw a match of the day. He did this stupid piece of skill in the corner, which almost led to one of their goals. Like, this is what they do. They overrated a lot of their players, and now looks what's happened. They're in the same predicament, and we can't let people like Son, people like Harry Kane get away with it because they're on the pitch. It's not like they're not on the pitch. If they were, and they were he wasn't scoring, or Son wasn't scoring, or Harry Kane wasn't scoring, then I could give them a little blind. But ultimately, their players just aren't good enough. So. Unfortunately, I can't. I think Newcastle have a really good fixture list. They've got to go to Newcastle Spurs as well. That's definitely going to be an L because away from home, Newcastle are going to do whatever they need to do at home. They're playing well. I believe you still got to play Man United as well. You still got to play Liverpool. So Spurs' fixture list is almost, you could say, as bad as Arsenal in relative terms for what they need to do to get into the top 4. So yeah, man, like it's not looking good. So listen, like they could finish 6th because Brighton look to be in a favorable position. Aston Villa, they're around the corner as well, and they look to be doing bits as well. So yeah, man, it's gonna be tough, but hopefully they do get top 4 because, as I said, I actually think if they get top 4, nothing will change. So it's better them getting it than United, as in Man United. I think Newcastle, they'll continue to grow regardless. So
Yeah.
Listen, shout out, man. I think it's Bournemouth, as I said, it's not for everybody, bro. Apparently, they're a championship team, my guy Patrick. That's what you was telling everybody. They're a championship team, and it's little old Bournemouth. But you know what? I ain't gonna be shameless because my team, they dropped the ball yesterday, and that's where I'm gonna leave it. But listen, man, I'm out, man. I got
Yo, boys,
stay
peace,
for
peace.
in a bit, my guy. Cool, man.
Roms, yeah, Patrick.
So I just want to say two things. It's a shame that Lee jumped off because I just want to say two things. Bentancur was brilliant before he got injured. He had like 5 or 6, or he had 6 goals. A couple of assists, was breaking up play, winning the ball. Yeah, he's a good. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Bentancur situation.
And Romero is a top defender as well. But it's
Romero, Patrick.
No, Romero is good. If you pair him with a good centre back, which we don't have, then you will see a top player. He is a top player, but unfortunately, when you got Ben Davis, Eric Dyer, Langley, who else have we played in? Tanganga. Like
I saw some news. Is this actually true that Dyer may be extending?
Yeah, it's been the talk of the town. I mean, you guys are now hearing about it. I've known about this for about a month. Dyer allegedly has signed is penned a 3-year deal or extension, but because the mood around the camp has been so negative, they're scared to announce it right now. So they're waiting for some good moments to announce it, but it hasn't really been a good period for them to announce it. So they're just holding on, and that just goes to show the ethos of the club.
I think the general
player
consensus. Sorry to cut you again, Patty, but I think the general consensus, that's not good news at all, because a lot of fans don't want Dyer. So even if things get better for Spurs, releasing that news might put a downer on the situation, because I know a lot of Spurs fans don't like. I don't know about you, but I know a lot of Spurs
no one likes Dyer. I think again, he's like a Rob Holding guy. If he was just a squad player and he came in now and again, we'd say cool, whatever. But the fact that he's playing 38 games a season, and then he's playing in all our Champions League games, playing in all knockout cup games, it's a shambles. It's mental. And then the fact is, his contract could have ran out, and you get rid of him. You say goodbye, cool. You've been decent somewhat for some years, been crap for others. Fair enough. See you later. We only paid 5 million for him. It's never like he come in on some big money, was expected to do well. But when you're extending a guy like that, and it just goes to show what the mentality of the club. He's a club signing because no manager's here. The DOF's not here. So what is Daniel Levy doing this shit again? And also Lee said about Newcastle have got a crazy fixture running as well.
Themselves.
So under normal circumstances, I would back Tottenham, but I just can't back them when we've just dropped clanger after clanger after clanger. But that's not to say that Newcastle have an easy run, and they don't. And even United's running, especially when they're still in the Europa and still in the FA Cup. But I just can't see this Tottenham team picking up enough points to then really go full tilt. So
United will be out of the Europa next week or this week.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think they beat Sevilla away.
I'm with you. I think they get knocked out.
No joke in the Europa League.
Thank you.
Yeah, but Sevilla weren't good, though. Let's be real. Sevilla weren't good.
They've got no fucking centre backs, no Bruno Fernandes, no Marcus Rashford. Now you get me. I think he's there for the taking, man.
Patrick, I agree with you. United weren't good, but they weren't good and still drew. So imagine now going to the. I think we will all agree, right? They weren't good at. No, sorry, Sevilla weren't good at Old Trafford, but still came away with a draw. So imagine going to their ground now, where it's going to be even tougher.
They're Europa League specialists. I hear
exactly.
I hear you.
And I think Brighton. I think United get knocked out of both competitions within 4 days. I think Brighton were amazing at the weekend. I think they knocked them out.
You know what? We're gonna touch on Chelsea in a moment as well, yeah, and we'll save that for that in it. But just before we do move on to Chelsea and Frank Lampard and the situation over there, Roms, I just want to ask you: is Son and Kane, are they going this season?
Son, no. I think Son stays. Patch might know more about me, but my opinion, I think big up Marcel, but I think Son stays, but I think it's Kane's swan song, man. And I think Patty included, I think he would agree. They will wish him the best because he's taken that club as far as he can. Smashed all of the goal scoring records, their highest ever goal scoring record, 20 plus goals every season. He's amazing for them, and I think they'll give his blessing. Of course, you don't want to see one of your best players leave, but he's done all he can. So I think Son will stay, but I think Kane. I hate to say this, man, but I think he goes. I think he goes United. It makes me sick, but I think he makes that move.
I think if he does go United, he's definitely going to turn them into a team that can challenge. Because, and this is why I don't write Tottenham off, because when you got a world class striker like that in Kane, it is very possible that you can clinch top four, because this guy can. People are not saying because of Haaland, but I think he's already broke the record anyway from last season for most goals scored in the Premier League. Like, you got to give credit where it's due, and the guy's an absolute bad man. I think if Kane leaves, though, I think that will open the door then for Son to leave. And maybe Tottenham might look at that in, you know what, we let these two players go. We bring in a manager that can try to rebuild the team and maybe go on a longer process of trying to build something, maybe a bit like what Arteta's done. And sometimes by doing that, you got to let certain people go in it. And I think that's how I just see it. You get me? I don't think you could write Tottenham off. I think it's between Tottenham and Newcastle. I think United will get top four. I think they'll get third. I think United are just sly, man. They've always been sly. They just dig out the results. You get me? But I think with Newcastle and Tottenham, I think it's going to be a battle between them. Having said that, Unai Emery's looking like he's on formidable form. You get me? You can't really write him out. And Brighton as well. There's 4 teams there in the mix. Probably drag United in at 5. This is why the Premier League is the best league in the world. You get me? You don't know who's going to win the title. You don't know who's going to finish top 4. And you definitely don't know who's going to get relegated. But look, let's move on to Frank Lampard and Chelsea quickly. Look, we've got an hour in. It's absolutely flown. It's mad. Patty, Frank Lampard, yeah. 3 losses on the bounce. You get me? What is going on, yeah? Because Todd Bowley's telling, man, these are beating Real Madrid 3-0. I don't even think he knew who Real Madrid were. You get me? It's a mad thing. It's mad.
It's nuts. And you know what? Chelsea are just lucky that they've kind of just run out of games, or there's just enough games in the tank where they're bang on mid-table. I think they're on like 39 points. So they're not challenging for Europe, but they're kind of just comfortably far enough away from the teams that are in the relegation scrap. If there was a couple more games to go, you see the other teams below them are picking up points. Even if they're drawing, they're getting the win. Chelsea are just losing.
Sorry to cut you, but do you remember when Lewis was telling us this at the start of the season?
Yeah,
laughing at him. 40 points, bro. They're not even there yet. It's
and we was bantering. I was laughing. I thought he was taking the piss. I'm looking at the table. They're on 39 points. Yeah, Fulham on 42. Then you got Crystal Palace 36, Wolves 34, Bournemouth 33, West Ham 31. So they just got enough to not really be worried, but with the amount of games left, they're just lucky the teams below them will come. They got to play each other, and obviously they're not that good, so they won't go on like a mad run. But they could end up 15th, 16th, 17th if they don't pull the socks up. Like, that's legitimate. So it's just crazy because when you look at the talent that they've got, and this is why I've argued with a lot of fans, even Tottenham fans, where they're like, "Oh, watch Chelsea next year," and I'm like, unless they get a real identity, I still don't see much changing, because you've got so many players. Even if you bring in 2 or 3, unless the manager really knows what his best 11 is, really understands, has a system, and the players buy into it, there's just so much mismatched players. They got Raheem Sterling, who's done fuck all, for being honest.
I said it from the start, Pat, you remember?
Yeah.
Post-Roman bums.
Exactly.
Nobody got to listen.
Yeah, you did. And so they're not going to get relegated, but they're not looking any part of any sort of football. Like, there's no football being played there. Do you know what I mean? None whatsoever. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Roms, look, we were just touching on it a little bit a couple seconds ago. Brighton put these man to the sword. Get me 70% possession, 20 odd shots on goal. These man, they are absolutely shit. And the maddest thing is, they've spent so much money in January in order to overturn results and bring favour back on their side using money. But does this show everyone that money isn't everything in football? Because you have to have a plan and you got to spend that money, right?
You have to. And that's what I'm saying, that they spent. I actually even feel sorry for the next manager, because when the next manager comes in, he can't get all these players off the books. You can get some, but you can't get all the players off the book. But then he's going to want his own players added on to the amount of players they already have. And that's why when I was saying, oh, Arsenal will go again, that's why I think there'll only be one more team in that title race, because I think Spurs and Liverpool have work to do. And Chelsea will still be a mess. I know you were saying post-Roman bums. I actually agree, because it's a shambles there. Even today, I see something on Twitter. Todd Bowley's having team talks, calling out players. He doesn't know a thing about football to be calling out players. So it's just a mess over there. It's actually a mess, and I agree. I saw that 3-0 thing. He just wanted to have his nice, probably £500 lunch, and he, like he said, I don't think he even knew who Real Madrid was. He saw a camera and just wanted to chat nonsense, but it's a shambles over there, man. And I think it's going to take. I think next season. I'm not going to say it gets worse, but I think next season is another bad year. I think they'll finish about 6th or 7th. And then I think the season after that is when you might see it come together. But they've got another year to 18 months of this because it's a mess over there. And with all them players signing them death row contracts, other clubs aren't going to want to pay them wages, bro. They're a mess. They're a mess.
The problem is as well, you got big players coming in on big contracts. So when a new manager comes in, Todd Bowley's going to tell him, you got to play Enzo, you got to play Mudryk, you got to play this guy, you got to play that guy. So even now, his hands are tied to a degree. Bringing in new players, it's going to be tough. I think you're being very generous saying 6th or 7th, because when you look at the league, there's a lot of teams that are already set and are better than them. And even though Tottenham and Liverpool haven't been good, at least there's an identity with both teams. At least both teams have players where can perform. You're looking at this Chelsea team. Enzo Fernandez is a baller, don't get me wrong, but where are the goals coming from? Where's the creativity coming from? What back line? I don't know. There's still a lot there that needs to be fixed. So I think they finish 10th, 11th next year as well, man.
I remember two big personalities are coming. And Nkunku, that deal's done. Good player. He comes in. That's a big personality. And you got Lukaku. And I know you two might laugh, but who's going to want to sign him on them wages? Exactly. I think he's on about 250 plus. And he's hardly been playing for. I don't watch the Italian league.
All of these are club signings.
Exactly.
A manager, they're making these big ass deals. It's mental. It just makes no sense.
They're going to be in the mud for a while.
Yeah, it's mad. Big up Cameron for the super chat. You know what he says here? Yeah, is actually funny as well. Ironic is Chelsea's most points is from Thomas Tuchel's time. You get me? That is crazy.
How far ago that was?
Crazy.
Without Tuchel, bro, these man would be relegated.
They would be in a relegation scrap. It's not even a joke. They would literally be in a relegation scrap.
These man. But look, just to wrap it up, I'm going to come to you first, Patrick, on this, Frank Lampard taking this Chelsea job again. Is this the final nail in the coffin for him returning to the Premier League as a manager? Because even though it's not an easy situation to walk into, you're going to end up taking some flack at the end of the season.
Exactly. So far, he's not done anything to rise his stock. 3 games in, 3 losses, Champions League looked out of his depth. He's not done anything to bolster or add something to the CV. You might as well have went and got Harry Redknapp in. He would have done a better job. Do you know what I mean? There's retired managers that would have come in and done a big job. Even Big Sam would have probably done.
Oh, they should have given Roy Hodgson the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, look at Roy Hodgson's come back and Crystal Palace even looked better. Do you know what I mean? So, Frank Lampard's done. Championship at best for him. Even Derby, he didn't really. Derby, he should have got them promoted. He didn't. I don't know, man. Again, he's living off his name. He's living off the reputation. They thought, we bring him in because he's Chelsea legend through and through. And even he's not getting a tune. And, there's still a few games. Maybe he does go on a bit of a run. But when you look at the fixtures, how they're playing and who they got next, I don't know, man. I don't see it. So, going back to your question, I don't think if they're smart, no team will bring him in. Simple as that.
Nah, sick. Roms, just to finish it off, Patrick just said something there, reputation. Does the Premier League and teams now need to stop bringing managers in to manage clubs based on player reputation of what they did in the past as a player rather than a manager? Because I think it's a bit unfair on managers that have actually progressed in their career and they don't get the opportunity. For example, Patrick Vieira, for me, I don't think he's a bad manager. What he did at Crystal Palace in a very short space of time, turning it around, making them play good football. I thought he was sacked unfairly as well. It is unfair in these kind of man.
Yeah, and the thing is, just to echo what you're saying, if you look at Patrick Vieira's last 7 games, 7 of them were against the top 8, then the run was always going to get easier. They just needed to be a bit paid. They're probably looking at it like it's paid off because that 8-year-old man, Hodgson, he's come in and they've won 2-3 on the bounce. But I agree with you. I think your Lampards, your Gerrards, even if you go a bit down in the Championship, the Paul Inces, they all had good club careers, but you can't do that after the name. And it's a kick in the teeth, like you said, to all the coaches who do their badges and whatnot, who are working hard, trying to go up the ranks, and they feel they deserve these jobs on merit. But just because a Lampard or Gerrard had a mad career, they're just going to get that. That's a bit unfair, and it's showing that clubs should start looking at it and not using it as no blueprint, because they're not cutting it. Gerrard had a good time in Scotland, but let's be honest, that actually I'm not going to play down that achievement, because Celtic were about to go 10 on the bounce, and he put a stop to that. So fair dues to him there. But in the Premier League, the toughest league in the world, Gerrard's come in and made Villa worse, and now you're seeing them in European places. And Lampard put Everton in a relegation places that they've not come out of. So, and they're just two to say the least. I think I'm even forgetting other managers that have come into, other ex-players that have come to be managers, but the only one you could really say that's doing his thing is Arteta. That's probably about it. And I think,
but even if you look at that, Roms, it's not like Arteta was a player that blew the league out the water. He was a good, decent player, but he's not one of them standout players of Premier League era. When people talk about the Premier League era, they're not going to be talking about Arteta. It's like even with the Guardiola situation, it's pretty mad that the better players and that have been that great are not really the greatest coaches, where the players that are just standard normally become the greatest coaches. I think maybe Vincent Kompany now is coming through, top defender. We're going to have to see what he does in the Premier League. You also got players like Gattuso and Xavi from Barcelona that were quality. They don't really seem like to be the best kind of managers knocking around either. So
it's actually true.
That narrative, man, definitely. But look, people, we've come to the end of the stream today. We've gone over by 10 minutes. We do normally like to keep it to an hour, but I think the conversation was too good to just shut the show down. You get me, people? Please smash a like on this video, subscribe if you're new. Go in the description below. All of the Mandems link is there for their channels. Go and subscribe. It's free of charge, people. And like I said, we cannot do this without you. We want to progress and we want to try to achieve great things. And we need the support from the viewers. Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to Cameron for sending a super chat. Patrick, tell the people what you're on and what you do.
Yeah, man. Patrick Tyrant on Twitter and Instagram, Patrick, and then Tyrant, Tyint. I'm going to be on the Chris Cowlin Spurs show this week. I'm also going to be just here, there, and everywhere, man. We've got the best of the rest with Saeed tomorrow. I'll be on there with my boy Premzy, Monts as well. He's going to come.
I'm going to need a bally for tomorrow.
So, yeah, man, just like I said, follow me on Twitter. You'll see what I'm up to. Got a lot of good things going on. So, yeah, but as always a pleasure. Roms, we got each other in a couple of weeks. Other than that, you're my guy. And Premzy, like I said, and the thing is, I mean, I've got a lot of good Arsenal friends and fans, so I'm never coming for you lot. But there's so many annoying ones, and if you lot don't win it, trust me, they're going to hear from me.
Now, big up yourself, Roms. You know what? Great addition to Premier League Unpacked. Love your outlook on Liverpool as well, because you're level-headed, and especially on everyone else's team. You keep it fair, keep it proper, keep it football talk, and there's not too much banter, which is good. Tell the people where they can find you and what you're up to.
Yeah, so my main two channels, I don't have my channel myself, but you'll find me on Monty's channel, Big Six Bands, but he's the more, he's my brother, he's the more outgoing one. I'm the more rounded one, but big up Monty, that's my brother, and you'll catch you on the Jerry James show as well. That's more of an unbiased it. We're me, Jerry, and G. We're all kind of level-headed. They could call us negative, but we just say it how we see it. So Jerry J show and Big Six Band, and you'll catch me on Never a Foul sometimes with Daps, Kaz, Mo, the lads from there. But I'm kind of everywhere. But listen, this is one of my favorite channels as well. Thank you for having me as a new addition. I'm familiar with Guna Lee and Patty, and even just new people like Bish, DSG, and that. I got to thank you, Premzy, because I'm meeting good people as well. So thank you, man. But that's where you can find me. I'll be on the Terrace today as well for the Liverpool and Leeds calling. You'll see my match reaction.
Just a quick one, yeah. So whose channel have I been tagging in the description then, fam? Because I thought that was your channel down there. Is that not your channel?
Wait, what channel did you tag?
I don't know, but on your Insta now, yeah. Click to you on the YouTube channel, link to it. You get me? So
yeah, that's calm because that's the main channel I'm on anyway. So that's fine. That's calm.
Say no more than I was about to say. Yo, what's going on here? Am I on a mad thing? Just adding some randomer to the fucking thing. But people, peace and love. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.